Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
We're testing our theories with others, it looks like. With the officers.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself?
Oh.
You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
Otherwise, it'll be an extended stay in the Hotari system.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clearer picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Yeah! The scientific method. Are we gonna get to pilot it? In some weird way, like holding right analog stick to the left? Why are we meeting in a frickin' asteroid field? Why have we moved?
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Fly the shuttle to your objective to complete a mission. Right trigger to fly forward, left trigger to fly back. Turn and strafe. The storm will push your shuttle around. Stay focused to maintain your course. Okay. Oh, this is actually pretty cool.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Going through.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Oh, shoot.
I just don't take it personally. At least I try not to.
That's a very mature answer. Shows a positive attitude on your part. Remind me of it when I start complaining to you about the ship's new first officer.
Oh. Let's hear the gossip. Dish it out. Come on. All right. Not too tough so far.
This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position.
Oh, those are the probes that we were picking up in the first video. It's a good thing we did that.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's what I said.
That is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there. With 2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there.
Oh. I will say that, yes,
Listen, I'm going to give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. And don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
I appreciate the advice, Commander.
It's just like...
I'll make sure I keep my options open.
Does not seem like a people person at all to me.
You're already well on your way.
Well, he is
You're
a thus, I
capable
guess.
engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up the good work, and who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too. Of course, if you get an officer's commission, they'll put you on another ship.
I love it. So put me up for promotion. I'm ready for my
Get me
next
off
challenge.
this ship.
Well, I think you're going to have to prove that to your boss, Chovak, first. He's the one who has to put you up for consideration.
To hell with Chovak.
If I were first officer, it would be different.
Well, what do you think? Is there room for me in the science division?
Unless I can come up with a real good reason.
This isn't enough?
It might be.
Now we're talking. Yeah, these little things are simplistic, but they do make you feel like you're in the world, right? As opposed to you're just making choices.
Here, this is close enough. Stop the engine.
It's just enough to, like, keep you engaged, I feel like, without being overwhelming.
Probe.
But yeah, it would be cool if they're a little more complicated. But then you could get stuck, you know? And
Brooke to Commander Chovak, we're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again.
that would
Warp field collapse in 3, 2,
make the story flow.
lock.
Whoa, damn. Holy crap.
There it is again.
The story
I saw
wouldn't
it.
flow so well if you got stuck on the puzzles.
Seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Now, the Hotari could...
Here's the readings in relation to our local space.
Hotari
We've got the Resolute, Hotari Prime,
could
and the probes.
focus that,
This
maybe?
interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
Locate interference peaks. Oh, what's that?
We got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
To find them all, I guess. Probably by the moon, right? Yeah, like I said, it pulses.
This is coming from the moon,
A beam that blocks warp travel.
aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
We're under attack and we didn't even know it. We need to stop them. Unplug whatever it is they're hitting us with.
Now, look here. It's current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations, they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger. Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. But one thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship.
So they didn't want Spock to get there.
Wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illidians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
Out of all of them, she's the one who seemed to genuinely appreciate that the Federation was involved. She believes in us, and I think we can believe in her.
Or is she using us too?
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari.
Maybe-
we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Oh.
Given their indifference to the negotiations, and what we now know about this warp-disrupting weapon, it's almost as if they want to start a war. And Sidron was convinced the only thing the Illidians respect is force.
I would say he's right about that. But at least they know when to hold back.
But that does not explain why they would turn their aggressions against us.
I don't think the Illidians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Arminta said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harness the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm.
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Illidians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
The plot
Commander Ryder,
thickens
sorry to
again.
interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
I was thinking maybe she wanted to use the tricorder to frame us or something, but
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
she's using a selfie
I'm
stick.
not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
This is pretty cool. Once again, I'm impressed.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
It's like a console.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It was hard to tell.
Tylus wouldn't have offered to help if she didn't know what she was doing.
That's a lot of faith in someone we barely know. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Why would he like us more for that? I'm curious. Captain Solano liked Jara's pragmatic approach to any danger Tylus might encounter by helping the Federation. Master Spock thought Jara performed well. Oh, okay. So this is like the last interaction that we had with them, eh? Commander Westbrook respected Jara's inclination to protect the crew when Starbase ordered her to disengage the docking clamps. He applauded Jara's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solano. Ultimately, he was thankful when Jara defied Captain Solano's orders and made her own command decision in the moment. What about Ermot? Was glad Jara's first instinct was to protect the crew when Starbase ordered her to disengage docking clamps, and he appreciated Jara's efforts to explain the complexity of the situation to Captain Solano. Commander Ermot respected Jara's rational approach. She defied Captain Solano's orders and refused to put the crew on the hull at risk. Okay. That's from way back now, though.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Illydians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough, at least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption and targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari.
Containment protocol.
Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
Wasn't there a Chovak on Voyager?
I don't like this warp problem. We thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Took some damage on the way.
Oh.
That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
What? What was that reaction? You'd definitely do that, wouldn't they?
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
Oh, man.
Here, I'll help.
Now we're talking. Teamwork!
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Oh, I thought security was the detail to be on. Now all of a sudden you're interested in engineering?
Just the engineer.
Wait, is that bad?
Come on, start pulling
Neutral?
chips.
Neutral interaction? I was being playful. Can't get everything right, you know? Oh, right stick. Oh.
What's this?
That looks like
Some kind of
the same crystal
formation?
as that, the artifact that we saw, eh?
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
Wait. Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
That sounds like a
Don't you
good
think
rule.
we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Well, if it's not natural, then someone might have put it there. It could be a tracking device, some kind of sabotage, or even a bomb.
Which is why we need to get it to the containment lab.
Come on.
I can't make an exception. Not even for you.
Uh-oh.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all fair.
But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels.
Oh.
We shouldn't do this alone.
Oh.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. If you think you could do it without getting in trouble.
I'll find a way.
Uh-oh.
Be very careful.
Oh, I don't know about that, guys. That might have been the wrong
Okay,
thing.
stand back.
We're doing the same thing the captain was complaining about. Everyone's just doing whatever they want. Maybe he's a better captain.
Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
We'll be there.
I have a feeling...
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core.
I have a feeling a ship might swoop in, though, when we need it because of that. Oh, yeah, now we're talking. Okay.
Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast? But she usually doesn't scare easy.
Now, you can't tell me you're not a little spooked, too. We all should be.
Believe me, I'm taking it seriously. But Miranda talking about sending a distress call on her own? That's going too far. Although,
Ooh.
you didn't seem to think so.
Oh. I gotta check this out. Okay. I'm excited about this. Etzelar shared Carter's uneasy feeling when Miranda returned from Hotari. Okay. Miranda noticed Carter was unusually suspicious when she returned from Hotari. Lieutenant Commander Chovak approved of Carter's eagerness to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle. Westbrook, this is who we were in the shuttle with. Enjoyed his conversation with Carter, coming away with the impression he's smart, pragmatic, and hungry for advancement in the ranks. Okay, and Spock, this is from a while back, impressed by Carter's skilled use of the tractor beam to rescue his shuttle, was left with the distinct impression Carter is a team player. Or a
She
player,
was
all
probably
right.
just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
Symbols and
Commander Rydick
legends.
was able to work behind the scenes during the negotiations and made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylus. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari Palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydick, if you want to take it from here.
Of course.
Don't ask me to regurgitate all the stuff that I learned.
Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
I didn't notice that.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with
Maybe it
Federation
has
records.
some kind of control over the
Displaying
crystals
symbols
that we
from
found.
Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to further analyze.
Find a matching symbol in the Federation database. Nah. Nah. Nope. I mean, kinda. It's like, it's pretty close. Nah. No. No, no. Okay. That's pretty close, right? See if there's something even closer. That's Ferengi, right? Are we seeing them all? Oh, we can compare. I mean, it's like there are a lot of similarities there. Also, this one, if it was like, yeah, this one's gonna be it. It's like it's been degraded, right? That's definitely a match. I like that they had some that looked pretty similar, though.
99.2% match.
Got it.
See, that's cool. It keeps the story moving, too, because it's not too complicated. And...
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Takan Empire.
I was gonna say it looked like
Their
Takan.
civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takan were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Takan technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Takan is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
I guess we've heard of the Takan.
Actually, I've heard of the Takan.
You have?
Quite impressive, Commander.
Computer,
What do we
summarize
like?
the Enterprise D's discovery of a Takan outpost.
On Stardate
We are,
386.4, The
supposed to be
USS
ambitious,
Enterprise
right?
D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Takan outpost in the Delphi-Ardu system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship. The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire.
Unbreakable energy draining.
Vaguely remember that.
Starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
I kind of remember this. It's been a while, though. Well, we did mention the Ferengi. What? Oh, I thought we were going to hear about the Ferengi ship.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi-Ardu system or attempting to make contact with Portal 6-3.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
Is that the one where they bought they like had to stop it by making a deal with them to buy their weapons or something like that? Or am I thinking of a different episode?
What sort of planet is Delphi-Ardu 4?
Delphi-Ardu 4 is an M-class planet.
Delphi.
A barren,
You
rocky
corrected her.
world with little to no vegetation and frequent ion storms. The giant crystals that grow there absorb energy, but it is not understood how they do so. The entire Delphi-Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 6-3.
Frequent ion storms. That can't just be a coincidence.
I gotta go watch that episode after this then. I have been watching some TNG. I actually really like Picard season 3, especially how it started. So it kind of got me into watching some Trek again.
Someone from the Takan Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was 16
Okay,
years ago.
yeah, okay. It's not that
Computer,
episode. It's,
what other information do you have on Portal 6-3?
I think I remember this guy.
Guardian of the Takan Empire.
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Takan Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Takan outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
As I have said, they were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy.
The Enterprise D, it rocks.
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably
The best ship
powerful.
ever.
Computer, what else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Takan used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully understood. Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then-current Starfleet science.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
We have Takan technology on board right now?
We might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Takan technology and can control it, I see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
Yeah.
For now, it's probably best we don't let on how much we know.
Play our cards close to the vest. Smart. I agree. Then when the time is right, we can confront them.
So they're not prepared.
Diplomatically, of course.
Right.
We've been able to triangulate the source of the ionic interference and warp disruption to a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know where to look.
We need to know what's down there. What the Hotari are hiding, to better understand what we're up against. And to neutralize it if we can.
Captain, embarking on a mission to the Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
Damn right.
I just want to make sure this doesn't blow up in our faces. Which is why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydek on a covert mission to Tau. Assuming you're up to the task. It would require absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
I'll get the away team in and out. They're in safe hands with me.
Under normal circumstances, that would be the case. Given the sensitive nature of this incursion, I'm afraid you'll have to go it alone.
Oh.
I'm hoping Tylus can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality and aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
Could they make us look like Hotari?
Tylus will be essential to my success. Not only her knowledge of the mines, but her ability to gain access, particularly now that we know which mine we need to get into.
Make sure she understands the need to keep this covert.
She's not going to want her people to know about this.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary arrangements as discreetly as possible.
Neutral.
Bridge to Captain Solano.
I think when it's
We'll
red,
need
it
to
means
move additional
negative,
ships
right?
to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime? Doing so will provide Commander Rydek as much time as possible to complete her mission.
It's a bit of a diversion.
We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
And maybe, you know, negotiations could go somewhere. Although it doesn't seem like Hotari are negotiating in good faith. This is pretty damn exciting. I'm down for this. And I like how they're bringing it back to a TNG episode as well.